Having just talked about color, it's kind of sad to see the color go away. So, you know what? Let's bring it back. Let's talk about beam today. So, if you're new here, we're in our 5 minutes to better lighting. I'm David Henry from LearnStageLighting.com. And if you are new here, if you're not subscribed, be sure to press that subscribe button and also the bell so you get the latest stuff here. Let's dive right in. So, beam is what we talk about when we're talking about what's coming out of the light, the physical beam of light that we see. So let me turn some stuff off here, and so we can really work with what we've got here, okay? And beam is cool because it's the most abstract part, I think, of what we do there. Sorry about that, had highlight on. And it's also, when we've got atmosphere like this, when we've got haze in the air, it's also one of the most interesting attributes of light. And so some of the things we're going to see that we can work with in beam are, on the simple end, zoom, right? These lights can be wide, they can be narrow, and you can really see the difference between the two. For example, a really tight 10-degree beam like we're seeing here looks almost like a beam fixture. You know, if we move those around, for example, we can really see something that looks like a tight beam type fixture, right? It looks very narrow. But if we go wide, while we lose some intensity, we get some really great coverage, okay? And in fact, a lot of lights these days, and this blows me away because 10 years ago we didn't have these options in a lot of lights. In a lot of lights today, we can have a prism. Now, these guys don't have a prism, but a prism goes ahead and pops this out even further. And so it's super awesome. But whether you've got a prism or not, in most spot fixtures, you're also going to have gobos, right? Maybe you've used these before. So you're able to go ahead and you're able to put a gobo in these lights. And you can see here how powerful it really can be to have a gobo in there, right? It breaks up the light. We went from this to having this gobo in that beam as it travels through the air. Now, if you can't use haze, because again, a lot of times that happens in various venues around the world, then you might think, okay, I'm just stuck with solid beams. Why do I even have spot fixtures? Well, the reason why you have spot fixtures is because we get these awesome patterns, okay, out of a gobo, right? And so let's just, for example, you know, right now they're on the floor, but say you don't have haze, you can put them on the wall, right? That looks pretty cool. It would look even better if they kind of overlapped each other, which we can get a little bit of here. But regardless, the projection we see can be really cool, and you can actually get a lot out of this, okay? So right now, you know, I've just got them. They're sharp, right? They're sharp as a tack. Ow. But we can go ahead here, and as we focus throughout the focus distance, we're able to get the beam very soft or very sharp. And the truth is, you know, the visualizer doesn't do the best job of visualizing this, because in real life, in the visualizer, things on the computer go from sharp being at 100% and soft being at 0%. But in real life with real lights, when you're focusing a gobo, the sharp spot is going to be somewhere in the middle. It's generally dependent on how far you're throwing the light. And then as you go below or above that range, you get different levels of softness, which can all be interesting. Not only that, on some lights, you can actually go on 2 gobo wheels and switch straight from one gobo to another just by using the focus. I don't think that works in the visualizer. It does not. But that's called Gobo Morphing, and it's really cool. But whether you're morphing or not, using some gobos and even mixing multiple gobos together, as you can see, can give you a variety of cool and interesting different looks. So I enjoy a lot of these. The things you want to watch out for when working with beam attributes, like zoom, like focus, like iris, like frost, like gobos, all these different things that work with the beam of the light. The thing you really want to watch out for is just how much light you're losing, okay? Because as you bring these different accessories into the light more than anything else, and you use them to have times with them in the light and times without them in the light, you lose light, okay? So these guys, you know, with a gobo in them are not as bright as they are without a gobo. Because anywhere that there's that design, you can see it here in the air and on the ground, you're losing that light. And so it's just something you really want to be cognizant of as you're working with gobos, to say, okay, you know, and as you're working with prisms, which will scatter the light, it'll spread it out more. As you're working with frost or anything like that, there's always going to be a little bit that's lost. And you got to weigh, okay, can I still see everything as clear as I want? And maybe you just do it for a song or two, and then you get back to having things brighter. But that's kind of a crash course on beam and how you can really use it in your show. So in our next video, guys, hey, we're going to talk about effects, okay, in our next two. It's going to be fun. And so I can't wait to dive into that with you. Until then, if you're enjoying what we're putting down here, if you're enjoying this 5 minutes to better lighting, please go ahead, check us out on Patreon, and consider supporting us here on a monthly basis. It's just going to help us to be able to put out new, fresh, and exciting, great content week after week for a long time into the future. That's my goal, and we can do it with your support. So join us over there, and then I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.